Was this a national championship team this last season, Patrick, that got robbed because of this pandemic and everything going on?
It most definitely was. I feel like this was our year.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spirit, presented by NoleGameday. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. So we're listening to Hear the Spirit, presented by NoleGameday. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spirit, Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spirit, presented by NoleGameday. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spirit, presented to you by NoleGameday.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. FSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan from Hear the Spirit, presented to you by NoleGameday. We are here on Tuesday, June 30th, recording. We have two guests on tonight. We haven't had two guests in just a little while. With us tonight, we're going to have Patrick Williams, former Nole, future potential NBA lottery pick. Patrick Williams talks about his career at FSU, talks about some funny stories there, also his preparation for the NBA draft, and a whole lot of other great stuff. He was awesome. I think you guys will really enjoy listening to it. And then also we have FSU recent commit tied in, Koby Gross. He joins us to talk about what made him want to commit so quickly to FSU, and Mike Norvell here in Tallahassee, what he's going to bring to the table, and some recruiting too, and a little bit of Luke Altmaier and others. And then for the rest of the podcast, we have a little bit of football to talk about. Austin's got some great updates basketball-wise. Things are kicking up over there recruiting-wise. And then we're going to run through our top 3 worst candies, along with FSU trivia and bad dad jokes. But with me this evening, I've got lead writer and editor Dustin Lewis, along with Austin Veazey, our lead basketball writer. What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much. How are y'all?
Same as last week. Still stuck inside.
Yeah, we are still stuck inside. It sucks. It really does.
At this point, every day I wake up, I just draw like a little crayon marker on the wall just to, keep a tally of the days.
You probably have to do that.
What?
What day are you at?
A lot.
I was going to say, you probably have to do that anyway because you stay up till like 7 a.m., so you have no idea at all what day it is anyways. Alrighty, so there that is. There goes my joke, or whatever that was. But yeah, we have a stacked podcast. It's probably going to be another 2-hour one. We had DeMarcus Walker last week. The guests are rolling. If you guys haven't yet and you're listening on iTunes, it'd mean a lot if you'd rate us 5 stars. It helps grow the podcast and get more listeners on. If you hit that subscribe button too, you'll actually be notified every time we release a new episode, so then you won't just have to go to Twitter to know whenever we have posted a new one. But if you leave a review too, that helps a ton, and we love feedback from you guys. But yeah, I think we should go ahead and jump in. We have a lot of stuff tonight. So let's jump into, the ACC and the Wes and Durham show. They put out, was it the Wes and Durham show, Austin?
Packer and Durham.
Packer and Durham. They put out their all-decade team. We can go off the first list here. And they did offense and defense. Coming in at a quarterback, this is the all-decade team. Deshaun Watson from Clemson, A.J. Dillon from Boston College, Dalvin Cook from FSU, the 2 running backs there. And then wide receiver-wise, Sammy Watkins, Jamison Crowder from Duke, Tyler Boyd from Pitt, tight end Eric Ebron from North Carolina. Offensive line-wise, Cam Irving, Anthony Castranzo, Garrett Brodberry, and Jonathan Cooper. I knew eventually I'd screw something up. Along with Jonathan Cooper and Trey Jackson. That is the offensive side of things for Mark Packers all-decade team on offense. Anybody got any kind of problems or, just kind of anything bother you in this list at all?
I mean, obviously people are going to be like, oh, where's Jameis? I mean, there's a ton of debate between Jameis, Deshaun Watson, and even Lamar Jackson. You really can't go wrong with any of the three. I think the biggest miss is no Rashad Green.
Yeah, I think that's a crucial miss. I think a lot of even FSU fans, but college football people and people that do reporting on this kind of forget about how big Rashad Green was for FSU. Not only big plays, but stats wise, man, he shattered a lot of things. Anything to you, Dustin?
I mean, I'd say it's a pretty fair list. If anything, I think Dalvin Cook's got to be your RB1 over A.J. Dillon.
I don't think it's that. Obviously, Dalvin Cook's a way better running back than A.J. Dillon, but I don't think they're set like RB1, RB2, and then wide receiver.
Oh, I got you.
They're just kind of like listed on here. I think for me, offensively here, what happened to Nick O'Leary? I'm looking at stats here.
I'm okay with Eric Ebron there.
Yeah, if there was two tight ends, I think Nick O'Leary's got to make it. But if there's just one, Ebron.
I mean, because we'll get to
NFL, we're thinking college football. Because Nick O'Leary won a national championship. Nick O'Leary also had more touchdowns than Eric Ebron. Eric Ebron only had a few hundred more yards than him receiving, and Nick O'Leary played without gloves.
Good point.
I don't know. I think it's a little miss here. Let's see.
I mean, did Ebron play fewer seasons?
Let's see. Nick O'Leary played
4, and Ebron played 3.
But Nick only had one touchdown his freshman year.
And so did Ebron.
But I'm looking at touchdowns wise where this just starts to get a little silly, where I think people forgot.
How many did O'Leary finish with?
18. Eric Ebron 8.
Yep.
Wow. So that right there is my big. That's got to be switched. That I think people forgot about Nick O'Leary. I understand Eric Ebron's still rolling in the NFL, but Nick O'Leary, I think. I mean,
I think you could also argue maybe Brian Stork could be down there with the offensive lineman as well. I think
you're right. Yeah,
I think he was arguably better than Cam Irving in Garnet and Gold. No. And Brian Stork was an anchor on that 2013 line.
Oh yeah, center.
I disagree with that. I mean, obviously, Stork was very good, especially at Florida State. But it's hard to go against Cam Irving. If you're going to replace anybody, replace Trey Jackson.
That's true.
But a better center overall, you'd have Cam Irving over Brian Stork?
I don't know. I mean, Irving was just great wherever he was. I mean, the offensive line in 2014 was pretty bad until Irving switched to center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know they did some good switching there. He changed and really helped that offensive line a lot. It fixed a lot of cracks. On the defensive side here, Mark Packers all decade team for defense. He's got defensive end Bradley Chubb, defensive end Shaq Lawson, defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle Marvin Wilson is in here. Defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence from Clemson, Aaron Donald, obviously, from Pittsburgh. Another obvious one here, Luke Kuechly from Boston College. Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. Linebacker Micah Kaiser from Virginia. And then safeties, Quinn Blanding from Virginia. Safety Derwin James from Florida State. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey, FSU. And cornerback LaMarcus Joyner. What are y'all's first kind of thoughts from this one?
First thoughts is, why did he include 4 defensive tackles and not one of them Steven Jernigan?
Yeah.
Or even Eddie Goldman. I think an argument can be made for either of them. I would take either of them over Marv, honestly. just for what they've done up to this point. Not to say that Marvin hasn't been unproductive or that he's not going to have a big season in 2020, but just for where they stand right now, I'd take Timmy already.
Yeah, no, I'd take Timmy Jernigan over Marvin Wilson most certainly. I think it's really weird to have still a current player that's still at FSU on. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of hype for Marvin Wilson heading into this season, most certainly. But Timmy Jernigan was just a different animal. Dude won a national championship, came in highly touted, and did his job. And he played national championship with the flu. He was absolutely dying during that game, and I think a little disrespect there for Timmy Jernigan. He was nasty, sideline to sideline, big boy, and a really good tackler too. Really good tackler. But I mean, if Marvin Wilson has a great year and it goes past Timmy Jernigan, then so be it. But also, Marvin Wilson is gonna have a good amount more time at FSU than Timmy Jernigan had too. So Loco Ocho still should be on both of these lists.
Would you guys call me crazy if I said I don't think Derwin James should be on there?
Honestly, I mean, he's the most talented safety. I mean, he's arguably the most talented defensive player on this list outside of Jalen and Aaron Donald. Yeah, he was hurt his sophomore season, and his junior season he was still kind of working back from the injury. It wasn't at 100%. His freshman season he was amazing.
Yeah, his freshman season was phenomenal.
But yeah, I could understand an argument for him not being there.
I would flip LaMarcus Joyner for Derwin because Joyner played safety in college. So I'd have him in place of Joyner, or in place of Derwin James, excuse me. And then I would have Xavier Rhodes in at cornerback.
You could
put
Rhodes. You could.
I would take out Derwin James and replace him at safety with LaMarcus Joyner, and then have Xavier Rhodes at cornerback and Joyner at safety.
Okay, I thought you were about to remove LaMarcus Joyner. I was getting nervous.
Oh no.
No. Yeah, you could put a lot of different corners there. Xavier, PJ, Ronald Darby, any of those you could make an argument for making this list.
Ronald Darby.
I think Darby was better in college than PJ was.
His last year, he's a little suspect. There were some times.
Oh, Darby?
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some definite times. He did not want to get hurt. He had to go to the NFL draft. I mean, that's what it was. Him and PJ.
Yeah, and that's why I'd have a guy like Xavier Rhodes there, because I mean he played extremely hard throughout his college career and just continued to be more productive as things went on.
Mm-hmm.
You never thought that he was looking over his shoulder at the NFL draft.
This is the next list here. This is West Durham's all-decade team. He puts Jameis Winston over here as the best quarterback. Dalvin Cook, 2 Noles back-to-back. Travis Etienne. Rashad Green gets some appreciation here. Wide receiver Sammy Watkins. Wide receiver Jamison Crowder. Same tight end as the last list, Eric Ebron. Nick O'Leary has disappeared. I don't know what they're looking at, what's going on. But yeah. And then Greg Dortch from Wake Forest. Mitch Hyatt, offensive line from Clemson. Oh, this name is awesome. Omorigi Uzi from Georgia Tech. Garrett Bradbury, NC State. Laken Tomlinson, Duke. Cam Irving, FSU. Any thoughts on this?
I'm surprised Dortch made the list, but other than that,
Yeah.
other than that, and honestly, and Travis Etienne, Clemson had a good stable of running backs throughout the decade. I mean, even going back to, CJ Spiller was more 2009, but they've had some really good running backs there. I'm surprised Etienne's the one he went with.
On the defensive side of things, he selects Bradley Chubb, defensive end, Vic Beasley from Clemson, Christian Wilkins, Clemson, Aaron Donald, Pittsburgh, Luke Kuechly, Isaiah Simmons, Micah Kaiser from Virginia, Jalen Ramsey, corner, Kendall Fuller, Virginia Tech, Quinn Blanding, Virginia for safety, and Jeremy Cash also as safety from Duke. I'll just go ahead and say right now, I think one thing that we need to keep an eye on for both of these lists defensively. Christian Wilkins should not be allowed on this list at all because of what he does with his hands after plays on players.
I mean,
what
the most
he does.
to me, the most notable thing is why Jeremy Cash. Of all the safeties you could go with, Jeremy Cash.
Very random. Yeah, Christian Wilkins should. Some people like different things. They're interested in different things. Maybe that's it might be something that they're doing at Clemson or whatever, and what they do in the locker room and the showers, but that should be removed, and Timmy Jernigan should be there. But yeah, Christian Wilkins should not be allowed after what we've seen him do on camera. There's evidence there of him putting his hands in certain areas after plays are over with opponents, putting his hands in different areas. Very, very different. I don't think you'd see Timmy Jernigan doing that. I don't know about you two, but I don't think I see Timmy Jernigan doing any of that shit.
Timmy Jernigan would just body slam you.
Yeah, and that'd be it. And he might say a few things to you, but that'd be it. But yeah, those are some interesting lists there. I think
interesting.
Jernigan got robbed, and I think Nick O'Leary got robbed. Anybody else? Anybody else get robbed in here?
I mean, LaMarcus got his respect on the first one, but I mean, to me, that's a shoo-in. LaMarcus was so good for Florida State.
Yeah, absolute stud. Absolute stud. Sorry, Cash, but bye. Give me LaMarcus.
And honestly, if they were going to throw in safeties, I mean, a non-FSU guy, Anthony Harris for Virginia, was really good, and he's even balling out in the pros now. To me, to not see him is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Quinn Blanding was very solid for Virginia, though, so I can see why he would get the recognition instead, especially because he was like a former 5-star recruit.
Going to Virginia, him and Anthony Brown, even if Anthony Brown was trash.
On to football recruiting right now happening while we're recording. FSU commit 4-star quarterback Luke Altmaier is currently competing at the Elite 11. Dustin may have an update here, but yeah, he was the last to be invited to the Elite 11, so he's out there competing, and it's good to see an FSU guy getting out there and competing with the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah, like you said, Altmaier's out there competing in Nashville at the Elite 11 finals. I believe 20 other quarterbacks are also in action working out. So it should be a good competition over the next couple of days. And I think whenever you get this much elite talent all together, you're always excited for what's going to take place. And yeah, just moving on into some of the recruiting updates for this week. A crystal ball is in for 2021 4-star defensive end Chambray Jackson. He's currently rated as the number 222 overall recruit in the country. I believe earlier this week or over the weekend, 247 Sports, Noles 247, Josh Newberg put in the first crystal ball for Jackson to Florida State. Right now his crystal ball is 100% to FSU. Some other contenders in his recruitment are Alabama and Auburn, but I guess right now Noles 247 has him leaning towards Florida State, and I believe that's something we've also said on the podcast in a couple recent episodes. He's a guy that we expect to wind up in Tribe 21, potentially a guy that moves inside the next level, even though he's listed as a defensive end currently. Also, FSU offered 2021 linebacker Thomas Davis out of Lowndes High School in Valdosta, pipeline that's produced guys like Greg Reed and Telvin Smith in the past. Davis had 16.5 tackles for loss and 11.5 sacks as a junior. He recently decommitted from Mississippi State, and Miami has been heating up in his recruitment. But now that FSU is offered, I think location could play a factor there, so we'll just have to see. And finally, the defensive end board is starting to expand a little bit. In recent days, FSU has offered three three-star defensive ends: Kyron Montgomery from Indiana, Byron Turner from Louisiana, and Landon Watson from Texas. So those are 3 names to keep your eyes on as we continue to progress through this recruiting cycle.
All right, so I say we jump into the hottest segment and podcast in the podcast industry right now. I think top 3 worst segment, and this week the topic is going to be the top 3 worst candies. I think this will be a pretty good one because obviously everybody listening to, they have theirs in mind, already thinking about it, what their favorites are, and so if we name one that's we think is god awful, then they'll probably piss them off and they'll never listen to us again. So what a great thing to do here to bring that up, and why not? We should just get started. Austin said he's already got 2. Should we start with you since you already have 2?
Yeah, like, as soon as you texted us the segment, this was the first one that came to mind. Butterfingers. Horrible. Just stick on the roof of your mouth. They taste bad. I don't understand why it's a candy anymore. I really don't.
They just break apart everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really been interested in eating one of those. I'm looking at them right now too, and nah.
They don't even look good. Like you see a candy, you're like, that looks good. Butterfingers.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
Yeah, it's not that appealing. I can feel you on that one. I've never really thought about like, oh my god, I want to go get a.
You're trick or treating on Halloween night. You pull out your bag at the end of the night. You pull out 8 Butterfingers. Like, what am I going to do with this? Throw it away.
Trash.
Throw it away. I think that's a solid pick. I'm gonna go with an easy one here, which I thought you were about to say, but I'm gonna go candy corn.
I had that on my list and took it off because I figured someone else was gonna say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still, someone had to do it, and that's why I'm here. That's just absolutely disgusting. I already don't really like candy that much, but it's absolutely nasty. I always dreaded having it when I was younger. Halloween. I don't even know how to be a kid anymore. What do you do? Halloween walking? What is it?
Trick or treating. I just said it.
Halloween walking.
Yeah, when I was going trick or treating, but getting that candy corn in there, it would always fall out too. So like it'd be everywhere at the bottom of your bag, and what do people do? Do they suck on it? Do they bite it? It's just like sugar that's colored. I think it's just like a rock that's just sugar. You know.
I don't even know if it's sugar because it tastes like shit.
I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't have any taste to it. I'd rather eat regular corn than have candy corn any day of the week.
I'd rather eat a napkin.
I think. Never mind. But yeah, candy corn. I think that's an easy choice for a lot of us. That's just absolutely dog shit. And I don't even know why. Like, do they still give that out anymore? There's got to be an upgrade from that. Like, if it was chocolate and it was a shape of corn, then I'd eat that. But I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what candy corn is. I just don't want to put that in my mouth anymore. Dustin, do you have one?
Yeah, I was gonna say Smarties.
What?
Oh, uh-oh.
I used to like them when I was a kid, but they're just like they're so chalky, dude.
Wow.
Wow.
Makes my mouth all dry.
I wouldn't say that's one of my favorites, but that's a good one. Come on, man.
It was all right when I was 7.
That's crazy.
Wow.
All right, no love. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you never used to, like, when you had Smarties, you could like cut them up, like you could shake them or grind them together, and then you could like act like you're smoking them. Y'all never did that?
No, we did that all the time.
I mean,
elementary, middle school.
I did it, but that's not. That doesn't make them more
awesome.
Attractive to me. I don't know.
I used to do that in school, and I would go into the closet, getting back from recess. I'd always be the first one in, so I'd grab all the Smarties, and she'd always be like, "Why are you in there? Why are you grabbing those?" I never tell her why, but then again, I'm under my desk. I'm grinding them together so I can get a fat hit of Smarties. I wouldn't like put them in my lungs, but you could just suck them in and blow them out and look like you're smoking. So that was really awesome. I was in elementary school too. Jesus, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
That's not good. Oh man, something's wrong with me. Dustin, you want to relay us back around for your number 2?
Is that what you want me to do?
That's what we've been doing last.
I'm scared, man, because Austin's.
Yeah, right now you're 0 for 1.
Uh-oh.
All right. So number 2, Tootsie Rolls.
What?
Oh.
What?
Wow. Can you please give us a statement before Austin gives his remarks?
I mean, they're hard to chew, bro. They just get stuck to your teeth, and they don't really taste like much of anything anyway. And I'm like 30 minutes later, it's like in my back molar, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I just don't get it. Like, if I want some chocolate, I'll just get like a Hershey bar or something.
I'm blown away. I've never met anyone that didn't like Tootsie Rolls. What about the fruit flavored ones? Have you had those?
Ugh. Oh,
Dustin doesn't eat fruit. You got to remember, Dustin doesn't eat fruit.
That's true.
That ain't fruit, bro.
Wow.
Fruit flavored.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm honestly blown away.
I think Austin's about to leave the podcast.
Yeah, if we didn't have to talk basketball after this, I'd be out of here already.
All right, mine up next. This is just disgusting. I mean, I used to have them, yes, but like I didn't want them. Like I was always like, please have these. And it's probably like when I was little and the girl was like, do you want some candy? I'm like, yeah, why not? I just gotta be on her good side or whatever. But hot tamales, I don't want to have that burning in my mouth.
Interesting.
Like
I don't
see that just doesn't
consider that candy.
It is.
Yeah, it's a candy.
It's definitely candy.
I don't really have an opinion on that, honestly.
Yeah, like I know we've all had them. Then whenever you suck them, then all the taste is gone, and so you just like with I don't know, a pill of sugar or a pill of just I don't know what's in my mouth. I think a lot of these candies we need to start testing what's actually in our mouth. But hot tamale. Yeah. So yeah, hot tamales. I don't think anybody really goes to the movie theater and is like, oh, I gotta grab some hot tamales. Just doesn't seem like this doesn't seem right. Austin, I think you're up next.
Yeah. My number 2. It's not really a popular candy over here. I feel like it's more of an overseas candy, but licorice.
Yeah, I mean, is it like the red one or the purple one?
The black licorice is disgusting.
Black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'd rather eat a turd off the ground at a dog park than. Yeah, I agree. Not that good. Dustin, you don't even like them?
No, not the black licorice. I'll eat some Twizzlers.
See, I don't even like Twizzlers that much. I know a lot
I don't
of
like
people
them
like
that much. But they're all right. They're kind of flavorless.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always think about how I feel after eating stuff, and
it's like chewing on plastic and strawberry at the same time.
All right, so you have to relay us back. So you're number 3, Austin.
Yeah, and this was when you texted us the segment. There's 2 that immediately came to mind. The first one was Butterfingers. The second one, Almond Joy. I don't think coconut. I don't think coconut can be in a candy and be good.
Oh, yeah, I already hate coconut, so.
Yeah, I do too. And why someone decided it could be a candy and sell successfully is beyond me.
Remember, people are on drugs, so that's probably it. That's just disgusting. Now you made me nauseous.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to eat anything for 24 hours. My number 2, oh man. See, I'm not good with I'm not.
Isn't this your number 1?
I mean, it's his last one. It's definitely not his number 2.
Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's my 3rd one of them all, but I've never even bought these ever in my entire life. Mike and Ike's or Mike Ike's?
What? No, stop.
Disgusting.
Stop.
I'm not the only one.
I will go to if you go to BJ's warehouse, like the Sam's Club kind of thing, they sell the 5-pound bags. Oh my! I will tear those things up.
Oh man, you need to go get a rehab.
So good. No, because like when I was a kid, like I'd go to my grandma's and there was a miniature golf course like right on our house. And after we're done, we get Mike and Ike's because they had the little Spencer. That's a childhood memory right there.
Yeah, that's a child memory. That's a child and confusion about their life right there.
Y'all are crazy.
Ew, I don't know.
Mike and Ike's and hot tamales are pretty much the same thing, but they're just not spicy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. It's just like eating sugar pills or something. I don't know. Austin is on drugs. He's eating sugar pills, by the way.
Y'all are crazy.
I
don't even want to hear Dustin's last one. He's 0 for 2.
If he says something that pisses me off, then I think I'm going to remove him from the call. So far, it hasn't really like ticked me off. I mean, the Skittles thing is just stupid, but we'll see.
Skittles.
Yeah, Smarties.
I mean, Smarties. My bad.
So my last one, I don't even really know if you guys would consider this candy or not. It's the York. Pretty much anything with chocolate and mint together, but especially like the York peppermint patties.
I mean, I don't agree or disagree, but there's gonna be a lot of people angry at you.
I don't really give a shit. It's trash. All I know is I was like 6 or 7 years old. My mom's like, "Here you go," and I take a bite out of that, and it just tastes like disappointment.
Yeah.
It's dark chocolate, which already sucks, and mint.
Yeah, dark chocolate. Honestly, dark chocolate could be its own worst candy. Dark chocolate is not good. I'm not convinced anyone likes it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have it sometimes, but it's not like something that I'm like, yeah, that is, I don't know. So you've had bad past experiences, huh, Dustin?
With peppermint patties, yes.
But not beef patties.
No, not beef patties. Well, depends.
Okay, well, we're not going to talk about your.
I think that Wendy's you had today is probably not hitting too well.
Nah. But I got spicy nugs.
What are y'all getting if you go to the movie theaters, real quick? What are your top 3 things you'd get if it's free? What are you grabbing?
Mike and Ike's is honestly my number 1.
Oh my god.
I'm getting that. I'm getting Skittles. And I'm getting Starburst probably.
Such a little girl.
Wow. Or honest Reese's.
Okay, now we're talking. Now we can be friends.
Yeah, I would do Reese's instead of Starburst.
Hey, Dustin.
I do love Starburst.
Okay. Dustin, you can't pick 15, so you just only 3.
I was gonna say M&M's, Sour Patch, and maybe like Goobers.
Huh?
You ever had Goobers?
Oh, I don't remember, but I just couldn't hear you. Give me Reese's. Give me some peanut butter M&Ms, or peanut M&Ms.
The peanut butter M&Ms are fire though. I don't know if y'all have had those.
Yeah. And what are the Reese's M&Ms? Those are gas. Those are full gas.
Reese's Pieces?
Yeah, Reese's Pieces are just straight dirty. Like, I could eat them.
They're not.
But I need a popcorn. I need my salt and my sweet, so I've got to get a big old thing of popcorn.
I mean, yeah, obviously popcorn, but I thought we were just doing.
Yeah. I'm just saying it adds to that. Like, that's, you know.
And like while we're getting popcorn, gotta get a pretzel and like.
Gee.
Gotta get a Powerade.
I'm just adding on since we were doing candies, and you brought the popcorn, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting everything on it. You know what I love with popcorn is jalapeno. Like jalapenos with popcorn. It's actually really good.
Interesting.
My mom did it, and I was like, "You're crazy." And then it's actually the salt and like the spiciness, and it's not too spicy. It's pretty good.
Interesting.
A little bit of butter on there, get some salt on it, then shake your bag a little bit. Oh, y'all want to go to a movie?
They're close.
I'd have to go to Tallahassee first.
True, and it's closed anyways. So, all right. So I said we jump into our interview with Patrick Williams, former Nole, future potential NBA lottery pick. Great interview. I think you guys will enjoy it. Let's jump over to that right now.
Got it taken away. Williams!
All right, everyone. We have a big-time guest here. Once again, we're rolling with some great guests in the last couple of weeks, but this time Austin hooked it up. We've got former Nole, future potential NBA lottery pick with us, Patrick Williams, on Hear the Spirit this evening. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're definitely excited to have you. You've got a big couple months ahead of you. I know the NBA season right now is crazy, and a lot has changed, obviously, with the pandemic going on. And so things are changing. The NBA draft is kind of being pushed around. But first, before everything, Austin met you, I think, at his store in Charlotte. And you were shopping for some shoes, and we need to know, kind of like right now, what did you grab and leave with? Because Austin doesn't remember. I don't know how he doesn't remember, but you left with a pair. He remembers that you bought something, but he doesn't remember.
Man, I don't even remember it. I've been in that store. I've been in that store maybe 20 times since I've been back in Charlotte. So I don't even remember what I got that time, but had to be the fire.
How many pairs of shoes? Because I've always wondered this. You see it all over TV and social media, but basketball players are a lot different, I think, than football players. I mean, the basketball players have way more kicks. How many pairs do you think you have?
Oh man, if I had to, I don't know the exact number, but if I had to guess, I would say about maybe 70.
God.
Yeah. Stop.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was expecting like 30 to 40, because I've got like 40 or 45 in my closet, and that's way too many. 70 is impressive.
That's nuts. That's nuts. I like, how do you do that? We'll get to the part, your time in Tallahassee, but how do you hold that many pairs of shoes in Tallahassee? And did you stay in Champions Hall?
No, we stayed actually off campus. Yeah, the entire basketball team stayed in an apartment off campus. So.
Okay, so where are you putting those shoes at, though? Those can't just fit in a closet.
Yeah, but so when I went to school, I just brought maybe 20 of my favorite pairs, like the 20 of my absolute favorite pairs, and I just rocked those, and then I just left the rest at home for whenever I went back or something.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. 70. That is nuts. All right, let's jump into it real quick. So, obviously, it's a different time right now. We've talked to a few basketball players too, but also football-wise. But training right now for everybody has switched up in some kind of way. But talk to us about your training right now. And you've obviously are looking forward to the NBA draft. But what are you doing right now, training-wise? Where are you at? And what's the plan going forward for you? What are you maybe hearing about date-wise? This draft is going to really go down. Just kind of run us through your weekly basis of things.
I mean, it's all like you said, it's all really, really crazy right now. But I've been thankful to be able to work out at my old high school, West Charlotte. So I've been there Monday through Saturday. Sometimes Sunday I go too. So, but it's not really anything strenuous. Just trying to tighten up on my skill, get more consistent with my jump shot, that type of thing, because you don't want to go too hard and then be burnt out by the time the season comes. So just doing a lot of skill work now. Of course, trying to stay in somewhat conditioned, but not doing it too hard, I would say. I've heard that the draft is going to be October 16th now, but who knows? That could get pushed back again. So, I guess just taking it one day at a time, just trying to get better every day. Whether that's some days I do, all left hand, or some days I do all jump shots off the dribble, or some days all passing, things like that, just to make sure I'm ready when the time comes, whenever that time may be.
Yeah, and at Florida State, you showed off strong defense and dazzling athleticism during your only year in Tallahassee. What do you think are the big things you can provide for the NBA team that selects you in the draft?
I would just say versatility. I think there's really nothing on the court that I can't do, whether that's offensively, defensively, from the bench. Just being able to be versatile wherever I'm needed. I can provide that team. I can play 1 through 4, offense, defense. Like I was saying, I can really do everything on the court. So I think just being versatile like that will help a team tremendously.
And I don't want to pinpoint you to like one location that you're really looking at, but have there been any teams that you talked to that you're like, man, that'd be a great landing spot?
Actually, my agent has been talking to teams, but it's pretty much been all the teams, just because they don't know exactly where they're going to land at in the first round or in the draft. So talking to pretty much all the teams, they're all pretty much interested and just want to know more about me, more about my game, that kind of thing.
Your teammate Devin Vassell also elected to declare early for the NBA draft. How much do you keep in contact with him, and how his preparations are going?
Man, we talk. I wouldn't say every day because he's busy. He's too busy for me, but we talk probably every other day. And he's doing great. He was in Atlanta. He went back to Atlanta to work out. He's been doing good. He went to Miami for a while to work out there too. So just doing the same thing I'm doing, the skill work, switching it up. Just trying to get better each and every day, because he's just we talk about it all the time, just how confusing everything is now. So we just take it a day at a time.
If you had to guess which one of you are going first, if you had to guess which one of you two is going to go first in the draft,
Devin's going number 1 pick for sure. Devin is the number 1 pick. I don't know why people are talking about anybody else other than Devin Vassell for the number 1 pick. I just don't get it. I've seen him jump from the free throw line in person.
And people keep saying he's not an explosive leaper. I'm like, what are they talking about? I've seen this guy in practice do windmills and, like you said, jump for the free throw line. I've seen him do crazy stuff in practice.
I have seen Devin Vassell has done some things that I have never seen in my life. So in pickup, like last time we got there, I got there in May. Man, he had already been there for like a week or two. So I go in the gym. This is our first day playing pickup. So I jump. So he comes off the ball screen. I'm weak side help. He jumps, and I swear his head was at the rim. But I jumped too. But I didn't know Devin at the time, so I didn't think he could jump that high. He jumped his head was above the rim. He could have done it me so easily, but he just came down with the ball. I was like, oh my goodness. That's when I knew Devin Vassell was a problem. That's when I knew he was a problem.
Is there, Pat? Is there a favorite team? Obviously, NBA draft is coming up and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to be picked by somebody. But what is your favorite NBA team? Just fan favorite.
Favorite team. I don't really have a favorite team. I don't really have a favorite team. I just like to. You talking about for me to play or just to watch?
Or just kind of to watch, or do you have a favorite player that you really love watching, just as a fan?
I'm a huge fan of Kawhi Leonard. I just like his game, his demeanor. I think, I just love his game, the way he plays, the plays that he makes offensively and defensively, whether it's on the ball or off the ball. I just love his game. But my favorite team to watch last year was the Lakers. I just love how LeBron kind of, I'm not gonna say changed his game because he always had that in him, but just man, I can't really explain it how he went from early in his career, he was so athletic, just dunking on everybody, to now he's making full court passes, left hand swing passes, left hand behind the head passes. It's crazy to see how his game has just evolved over the years.
When you signed in Tallahassee at Florida State, you were just the 7th 5-star player in school history. What went into your decision to go into Florida State?
The coaching staff. First of all, the coaching staff, they were just real genuine. Like throughout the recruitment process, you kind of tell what coaches are genuine and what coaches are just there for business. But I could tell from Coach Ham, CY, Coach Jones, Coach Gates, who was there at the time, but he's not there anymore. But I could just tell that they were truly genuine and wanted me to be successful as a man, not just a basketball player. And then second of all, the players. On my visit, I was kind of looking for the camaraderie of the team, the type of players that they have, players with high character, high values, things like that. And I mean, Florida State checked all the boxes, and I fell in love with it from day one. From the first day on the visit, I fell in love with it. So pretty easy just for me.
Is that something that might have came to a surprise to you when you came and visited Florida State and maybe Tallahassee as a whole? Is that something that you might have not expected, that you would really enjoy being in Tallahassee, or were you kind of expecting it? Because that's something I've always wondered about recruits coming in, definitely high-profile ones, 5-star guys, very talented. I always kind of wonder, they're also putting themselves in a different town away from home. I think that plays a big part in choosing a team. Because those are big years in their life. College life is a whole lot different than high school. So that play, were you kind of expecting? Was it kind of a shock that you really enjoy being in Tallahassee, or did you expect it?
It was a shock. Well, Tallahassee, I mean, of course, it's Florida. I know it's gonna have fun there. I know it's gonna be good weather there and things like that. But what really shocked me about Florida State was just the camaraderie of the team, just how much everybody loved each other, was happy to see each other do well. From the visit, you kind of see that there was no like groups on the team. I'm not gonna say what other schools, but the other schools that I visited, they were kind of like, okay, this like on the team, this group would hang with each other, this group would hang with each other, this group would hang with each other. But I mean, at Florida State, I could tell on my visit that everybody was really cool with one another. It didn't really matter who it was. Everybody was truly happy for one another. So that's what surprised me.
Speaking of Tallahassee, and this is something we ask all of our guests, all the football guys and basketball, and we got to ask, what's your favorite place to eat in Tallahassee? I think it's also a good question because we're talking to athletes here, and athletes eat a lot more than I think regular human beings do. But what was your favorite place to eat at in Tallahassee? It can be anywhere, anything. The listeners want to know.
I really love BJ's because that was my first time ever having the little pizookie that they have with the cookie and the ice cream. That was my first time ever having that.
Yeah,
and,
can't go wrong.
Right. So Turk had he had introduced me to BJ's, and man, after every home game, I wanted to go. I want to go to BJ's. They said no, Pat, you went to BJ's last time. I said no, I want to go again. I want to get a pizookie, but BJ's, and then also like the egg. The egg was not even 2 minutes from our apartment, so it was always nice to go there for breakfast. So,
changing it up a little bit. Okay, I like this. I like seeing different choices here. I like that. I like that. Did you go to BJ's after the Louisville game?
After the Louisville
home game?
Probably did.
I'm sure you wanted to celebrate in some kind of caliber. So
yeah. I might have got 2 bazookies that night.
Dustin, you there,
Oh,
bud?
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
I was
still
on the
pod.
Pazuki train. Sorry about that.
Like I said, Pat, good thing we're not live.
But yeah, you talked earlier about the team camaraderie. Gee, so continuing on with that, who was the funniest guy on the team in your opinion?
Oh my goodness, this question is so hard because everybody has their days. Everybody has their moments where they're just hilarious. So, I would say when I first got on campus, it was NJ. NJ Walker he is hilarious. NJ Walker is oh my goodness. He's just a clown 24/7. But then as you start to hang around other guys, as you start to hang around the team more, everybody has their days. When I first got on campus, Raekwon was my roommate. Turk was my roommate. So being with him every day was hilarious. And then Bossa was my roommate as well. And most people, if you don't know Bossa, you would never even think that he talks, but he is hilarious. And then Nate Jack came in with his, he's from Canada, so he likes to talk his Canadian slang, and everybody has their days. Devin has his days, and then after the COVID thing, everybody had kind of went home from the team. Had kind of went home, and it was just me, Turk, and Trent left at the apartments. And man, being with them every day was hilarious. So Trent has his days as well. Man, everybody has their days. It's just Justin Linder has his days. Will is hilarious. Will
was so funny because does he still do the Photoshops thing after games?
Yes, man. God, every away game, like we get on a charter bus to go to the airport, and then after the airport, on a charter bus to go to the hotel. On the charter buses, he might have 6 or 7 just like Photoshop things. Oh my, it's hilarious.
Will is so surprisingly funny because you don't expect it, and he just says something completely off the wall. And there were so many times I used to run clock when I was a manager there, and he would just come up after practice and show me something like, "Will, what are you talking about?"
Oh my goodness.
Going back and talking about your career, Pat, coming in as a highly ranked prospect, how much of it was an adjustment for you? Coming off the bench, Leonard Hamilton runs guys like crazy out there, but you coming off the bench for your games, was it a big adjustment for you, or is it something that you trusted Leonard Hamilton's process and the coaching staff as a whole, and it really worked out for the team?
I never really thought twice about it because like you were saying, coming in as a I guess you say 5-star, but I never really viewed myself as a 5-star. I just thought I was, one of the players. I'm just another player. I never really viewed myself as, a highly talented prospect or anything like that. So just from day one, whatever the coach said, that was it. It was no okay, I'm a 5-star, so I should be doing this and that. No, it was just I'm just another player. Use me however you need to use me. Use my talents however you need to use my talents. And I'm fine with it. Whatever I can do to help us win.
Throughout the season, you had some great moments yourself and as a team. Did you have a favorite dunk from the season, whether it be the poster against Tennessee, the one against Louisville, where everyone says that's the loudest the Tucker Center's ever been? And then did you have a favorite moment from the season just as a team?
I don't have a favorite dunk, honestly. I really don't. I can't even remember all the dunks. I can't remember too many dunks. Like somebody asked me the other day, how many dunks you have on the season? And I said, maybe like 10. I really can't remember all my. I really can't remember. But as a team, my favorite moment as a team. This is a tough one. I would say Louisville at Louisville.
Okay. What's the reason for that one? Yeah.
Just because we knew Louisville was ranked ahead of us, but we knew that we were, just as good, if not better than Louisville. So just that whole week leading up to that game was just locked in. Every practice was, I'm not gonna say perfect, but every practice had its purpose. Every practice was on target. We got what we needed to do done. And then just everybody was locked in. Like after practice, well, this was after every practice, but every practice, people would get up shots. But you could just tell that this week we were really locked in to beating Louisville because we knew that we were really better than them. But we just didn't get the attention that they did. But they were definitely a good team. But I just feel like we came out that game and we were just ready to play. It was a CY scout, so he went, like, as he always does, with so much energy. He just coaches with so much energy and passion that you can't help but just to go out there and play with the same passion that he coaches with. So during film, he came up with this analogy, SWA, and it meant Seminoles with attitude. So we came out, we used that the whole week. Seminoles with attitude. Seminoles with attitude. We said it maybe 50 times a day. At the beginning of practice, throughout practice, at the end of practice, Seminoles with attitude. And that's how we play. We play with attitude. We play with a chip on our shoulder. And we out there, and we brought it to them. Which, and that game right there kind of showed us that, man, like, we're really good because Louisville was a good team. We went out there, wasn't afraid. It was a sold out crowd at their place. We weren't afraid. We went out there, played hard, played together, and didn't back down. Played with attitude. So that was the game. I say that kind of, like, we looked at ourselves like, man, we're really good. Like, because before that, like, we knew we were good, but it wasn't. There was no time just to sit back and think about how good we were. But after that Louisville game, man, we just looked at each other and said, and in the locker room after the game, we looked at each other and said, we can win it all. We can. We really can. So that was the kind of the spark that we needed to kind of change our mindset into winning it all.
I want to go back real quick because I have another. You're bringing up a good point, but I want to go back to the dunking thing because, man, I'll be sitting in my house. Obviously you see the Tucker Center, but I'll also be honest too. Me, Austin, and Dustin, we don't really get a chance to dunk. Definitely, let alone in front of that many people. But I will say, I think Dustin's like 5'8".
I was about to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I put that rim down to 5 foot, and I'm a monster.
I'm just saying, I'll be honest, I don't have that kind of chance to dunk right now. I might grow. I might have a growth spurt. I don't know. I'm about to turn 23. Maybe that's going to be the year. That's kind of like my LeBron James year and Jordan year. But, after throwing down dunks like that, man, like, what is that feeling like? Because I remember watching a few of them, and you're not like a huge expressive kind of guy. You kind of keep it to yourself a little bit. But on the inside, like, what are you thinking when definitely the Louisville game in the Tucker Center, like Austin just brought up, that was extremely loud. And what kind of like just goes through your body, your mental there? It's got to be awesome. It's probably like, damn, I'm glad I picked Florida State too at the end of it.
Honestly, because people always talk about how I don't show emotion on the court or whatever. But honestly, when I dunk the ball, I look at it just another 2 points. So, like, if you look at me, it's kind of like after I dunk it or whatever, I just get back on defense because it's just the next play. But
I was about to bring that up.
I don't really get. I don't know what it is. I don't really get like riled up during the game. Nothing. I feel like in the game, my emotions are all just level because I think I play my best basketball when I'm locked in, not when I'm screaming or yelling. I remember it was one game, Tennessee actually. So I come down, it was a fast break. I come down, I try to dunk on Pons, try to dunk on him, but I miss it. It goes up in the air and it comes back down, and it was an and one. It comes back down in the basket, and I yelled. I say, and one. And I said to myself, that is not me. That just didn't feel natural. It just didn't feel comfortable to do that. Because Devin was like, Patrick, you got to show emotion in this game. Because it was Tennessee. It was a sold-out crowd. So he was like, you got to show emotion in this game. I said, I'm going to try it. And I said, and one. And I said, that is not me. It just didn't feel natural. Like I have to think about what I need to say. It's just not natural to me. So
I was about to bring up the Tennessee game as well. When you put one guy on a poster, I think it was Pons again, and I don't even think you said anything. You just looked at him and got on the ball. And then again in the Louisville game when you got that steal and the dunk, same thing. You got right back on the ball. I'm like, Coach Ham has to absolutely love this guy. Because that's what they've been preaching ever since I've been there, starting with XRM and Dwayne Bacon, and now you see Patrick Williams actually doing it time after time. I was like, he has to love Patrick Williams, and then second of all, I'm like, this guy is awesome.
I really don't feel anything. Like I don't feel any emotion, any like energy when I dunk or anything like that. I get energy. You might not see it, but I get energy. Okay, so let's say I come off a ball screen and I make a hook pass to the corner to Wyatt. I remember it was one play I came off the corner, made a hook pass to Wyatt Wilson in the corner. He made the three. That gives me energy. That gets me riled up. Like if I make a good pass or if I make a good play, not just. I love to get assists. I don't know why. I love to get assists. That's what gets me energy. That's what gets me riled up. Like I get a little pep in my step after I get an assist or something like that. I don't know why.
I just watched that Tennessee Duncan. That was my favorite. I think of Trent Forrest was great too, but this is just mean. I mean, what you did was disgusting, and I'm like a whole 180 from you. I probably wouldn't shut my mouth. Like again, I would never have a chance to dunk like this. So if I did, I'm just thinking like I'm dreaming about it. But this, I think also the announcer yelling Williams, and you just eating him alive, and then your teammates are going crazy. I mean, I'm a whole different way than you, but that's why there's different. We all have different mental states and everything. But I probably would never shut up for the rest of the game. That's just disgusting. If everybody that's listening to should just go YouTube it or something right now, because that was disgusting. I think it went viral on our Instagram page too, because I had to post it immediately. I was sitting at home, and so I usually have my friends watching here with me. We have like 5 guys that just love FSU basketball, and I think everybody lost their voice after that, and it was just like little kids just watching like LeBron James dunk. I don't know. We just have different get different feelings on it. But you like looking at your face after that. I'm watching it now, and you just like nothing even happened. Just kind of just warming up. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're doing it like that. Let's see. But you were kind of bringing it up earlier too, and you kind of found out after that game in Louisville that you have a very talented team and there's a lot of potential there. And I'll be kind of straight up with you. Was this a national championship team this last season, Patrick, that got robbed because of this pandemic and everything going on?
It most definitely was. I feel like this was our year. Our motto this year, I still wear the bracelet. Every year we get bracelets with our motto on it. And our motto right now, I'm wearing it right now, it says "Our Turn." And that was our motto that Harrison came up with in the beginning of the season. He said, it's basically our turn to get what we deserve. Last year they had to watch, Virginia, who they beat earlier in the season, play arguably for a national championship. So this year was our turn to get to the national championship and to win it. And we felt like that this year was really our year. It was really our turn. So I think if we play out, I think we definitely make it to the national championship. And all year they were saying if we make it to the national championship, we're not losing. We're not losing. So I definitely think that this was a national championship team. I give credit to MJ. MJ's a vet. And after the first game to Pitt, we were all kind of like, man, because we thought, Pitt was not very good. So it was just our first game, and we go out there and we kind of lay an egg, offensively, defensively, we just weren't locked in. And after the game, MJ comes in and he just gets on everybody. He goes down the line like, we have to do better. He said, this is our turn. He was the best on the team. He took the leadership all year, but especially that day, he came in the locker room. He said, okay, now the jitters are out. The first game's gone. That's done with. So now we have to move on. And ever since then, we had like a chip on our shoulder, and then especially that Louisville game that just kind of heavy the chip. So I feel like this year was definitely our year, but next year I'm looking at the team, looking at the roster, and they're gonna be tough again next year too. So I'll definitely be tuned in to every single game, keeping in touch. I keep in touch with everybody there, talking to Scotty, talking to Sadar, news guys there, asking questions just about the coaches, the system, things like that. Talking to Turk still, talking to everybody on the team, just to make sure that they're locked in, because they know that, okay, last year got cut short a little bit, but show still goes on. Still our turn.
Who are you expecting them to close out the roster with, if anybody? They've still got 2 open spots.
Right. I really don't know. It'll be interesting to see who they fill those spots with, because Coach Ham, man, he's the best at using what he has. He doesn't need the 5-star, but he can make a 1-star look like a 5-star. Because our system is just dedicated on just making reads. So you're going to get open shots. You don't have to be a lights out shooter. Anybody can make an open shot. So for the big, if you just set the screen and roll, we're going to lob it to the rim. So you don't have to be able to jump super high, because we're going to lob it right there in the front of the rim. So you're going to get 6 to 8 easy points just off a lob. So I feel like our system is perfect for whoever comes in.
And Patrick, speaking about your decision to declare for the draft, how much thought did you put into possibly returning to Florida State before declaring for the draft? And was it always your goal to be a one-and-done player, or is that just kind of how things ended up working out during the process?
I had never thought about being a one-and-done player. I actually, honestly, after the season, I didn't even think twice about coming back. I had my mind set on, coming back to school, coming back for sophomore year, and just getting better. I was sold. And then Coach Hamak had called me in his office, and he sat me down. He's like, "Well, what are you thinking?" I was like, "What do you mean, what am I thinking? There's nothing to think about." Like, question, was I coming back or was I going? It was it's like every other player. Okay, just work in the summer and get ready for next season. So then about, I would say, a month after the season ended, Coach Ham called me in his office. He said, "What are you thinking?" I'm guessing that he already thought that I was thinking about, staying or leaving. And I was like, "What do you mean when I'm thinking?" Like, there's nothing to think about. I'm coming back. And then right there, he had called like 4 or 5 teams, and they were saying, "Yeah, like we have him on first round, possible lottery." And then he kind of explained to me that, now is the time to go. Now it'll be the smart time to go. And then it just went from there. But in the beginning, there was no even thought about was I coming back or not, because my mind was set on I'm coming back. I just felt like a second year would allow me to get so much better with the ball, or just overall just get better and be able to show more. But like I was saying, he just called me in the offense. It was like, "Well, what are you thinking?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean? What am I thinking?" Like I was fully prepared for a sophomore season. But
your thoughts are pretty similar to Jonathan Isaac, and I was there for his whole process of, he had the really great freshman season, and he was even projected to go higher than you were. Even right after the season, he was thinking top 5, top 10. But he's like, "What do you mean? I want to come straight back."
Right.
And then I think it was Gates who finally sat him down. I was like, I mean, you're going to be for sure a top 10 pick. Why not go ahead and go? But he thought the exact same things. He was like, I want to come back and get better because he didn't think he was ready, honestly.
Right. That's exactly. I didn't think I was, because you think about the NBA and you think about how good they are, just about how polished their game is, and then you look at your game and you're like, well, that's not me, so I must not be ready. But that's what I was thinking. And then they kind of sat me down just like they did him. They basically said the same thing you just said, talking about Jonathan Isaac. They kind of prepared our mindsets, and they were like, Jonathan Isaac was the same way, and we kind of had to push him out the door. So, and then look where he ends up. He was arguably the defensive player of the year. So, yeah, they kind of made similarities between me and Jonathan Isaac.
We talked about this before we started recording, but I'm going to ask the biggest and the hardest question here, and I think it's the most important to fans too. What's the best uniform you guys had? What do you think's the most attractive, the best one that you would like to wear on a big game day? Which one is the best?
I love the black.
Okay.
I love the black.
The correct answer.
But that turquoise is something special.
Also the correct answer.
But me personally, I love the black. I just love, like, whenever they say we're away, I say, please say we're in black, because I just love the black. Black, I have so many shoes that I can wear with the black. I like my black Nike game socks. I love them. I love my black game socks. I just feel so much more comfortable wearing black. I don't know why. I love the black.
Those blacks go back to that Elite Eight season, because we wore them at Florida and dominated them. And at every big away game we'd wear it, except for Duke. We wore garnet there, but every other big away game we'd wear black. And then we go into the tournaments, like, well, we have this mindset of we're the underdog. We want to go out there and kill some people. And yeah, we were all black and just dominated that tournament. Really should have been another Final Four. But yeah, and ever since then, the black's just been the go-to for y'all.
Yes, the black. I love the black.
And we do know that you have a good amount of shoes too to go with stuff. So I'm glad you added that in there.
You talked earlier about CY. Do you have any favorite stories about the assistant coaches? Jones, Smith, Coach Young, and also about Coach Ham?
Oh man, it is so many stories that I can say about CY. The CY's been recruiting me since I was in ninth grade. So
yeah,
just coming to my school every chance he could. I think they, whatever the limit was that he can come see me, he reached that limit quick.
Yeah.
He reached that limit quick. And then
we played at Wake Forest.
He would call every day. You said what?
Yeah, we played at Wake Forest, and I remember he rented a car and came down to see you after we beat Wake Forest. I remember that vividly.
Yeah. I was this is a good story. We was at Wake Forest. I went to the Wake Forest visit. I was on a visit at Wake Forest. So he comes out of the tunnel, and he looks to the right, and he sees me behind the Wake Forest bench. And he looks at me, he just shakes his head, and I said, "Oh man, CY gonna call me later and ask me what I'm doing at Wake Forest." So then, like, they were going back into the locker room before the final warm up, and he grabs the ball, he throws it at me, and he says, "Wrong school, Chief." Then he walks back to soccer. CY is crazy. And then he would come to my school, to my high school, and he was sold that I was going to Florida State even before I even knew I was going to Florida State. He knew I was going to Florida State. So he would come to my high school practices, and he would put in like Florida State plays, like the Florida State transition or the Florida State just the Florida State plays, so that I was already accustomed to them by the time I got there, even before I committed. Like, he was down to CY. He would put in like the transition, the drag screens, all that, and then the checkpoints, the motion files, all that. He put in all that when I was in high school for my high school team, knowing that I was going to go to Florida State. So, yeah, see why.
I've got one last question for you too, and we'll let you go. And this is probably the second most important one. That's just how I do it here. I ask the most important questions, and Austin and Dustin know this. What's your favorite, lemonade, sweet tea, or Arnold Palmer?
Ooh, Arnold Palmer.
Whoa!
Wow.
First one.
Yeah.
You've been shocking us tonight.
Arnold Palmer, yeah.
Arnold Palmer. Is there a certain place that you would go to get this Arnold Palmer? Because we haven't had anybody yet. We've had DeMarcus. What did DeMarcus pick? He picked lemonade, didn't he?
Yeah, DeMarcus Walker picked lemonade and Trent picked lemonade.
Oh, Trent. Yeah. Oh, Trent has to be better.
We all thought he was going to say sweet tea because, Chipley's. I mean, it's Chipley. We all thought he was going to say sweet tea. And he came out and said lemonade, and I was shocked.
Oh, man. But I usually get it from Waffle House.
Okay, Waffle House. Okay. And real quick, because we talked about Trent. How is Trent? How big of a Trent? Because you were young and it was your true freshman, but how big of an impact was Trent Forrest for you? Because I think a lot of fans really, really appreciated his career at FSU. But how big of an impact did he make for you? And I'm sure you would really like to allow him. You really want him to have a chance in the NBA for sure. I'm guessing too.
For sure. He deserves it. He deserves it. You see Trent. He's not the most vocal leader. He's not the most vocal player that you're going to meet, but he really leads by example. So you see him getting the shots in after practice. So of course, in the beginning it might have been Trent, MJ, Turk, Devin, me getting up shots, or maybe 5 or 6 of us getting up shots after practice. And then slowly but surely, 7, then 8, and then next thing you know, the whole team's getting up shots after practice. So it's basically like practice is going on. So, but I mean, Trent definitely leads by example, and he also knows how to speak up when he needs to. I mean, Trent is just the ultimate guard for me. I really hope that he gets a chance in the NBA because I know how hard he works. I know he will get a chance in the NBA, and I know he's going to make the best of it. He's still in Tallahassee right now. As a matter of fact, working out with CY every day. Talking to CY, I've been talking to Turk, and they've been playing pickup down there. And he's been telling me how much better Trent has gotten just from his shot to his floaters to just his overall game, just how much better he's gotten in this short quarantine period. So I know Trent's been working because he always works. So man, I'm just happy for him to see the year. I mean the career that he's had at FSU, and then the amount of people that look up to him. I mean, he deserves it. Just the type of guy that he is, the type of player he is, character that he has. I mean, Trent's just the mayor of Tallahassee. I can't say it any other way. He's the mayor, the great Trent Forrest.
That's a good quote there. I like. He was. I promise. After that dunk against Louisville, I guarantee you, anybody would have given him the keys to anything. And he was a great interview too. A lot of you guys too from the basketball program are great interviews and just great guys. And we here at Nole Gameday and Here to Spirit too, we really appreciate you coming on here and talking. It was supposed to be a little 30-minute thing, but it lasted quite a bit longer than that. So we really appreciate you, and we really look forward to covering you and the pros, and wish you the best of luck with training and stay healthy. And if you ever need anything on this side of town in Tallahassee, we're here. And yeah, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, we are back after our interview with Pat. Really appreciate him coming on. Thanks to Austin setting that up and hooking it up. He was really fantastic, guys. I think he kind of shocked, like we said in the podcast in the interview. He kind of shocked me a little bit. I thought he was quiet, but he talked quite a bit.
Yeah, and this is the first. Usually with interviews, like I'll just text one of the guys that I was there part of the team with, but he came in store. I'm like, this is the best opportunity I've ever had. Let me go ask him real quick. He was honestly genuinely excited to come on, and he killed that interview.
It seemed like he had a really good time.
All right, so speaking of basketball, Austin has quite a bit to talk about, definitely recruiting-wise, and some updates and guys putting Florida State in their top list. If you want to run through those, Austin, before we get into the Koby Gross interview, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, so, usually I'm not the biggest recruiting guy, but with this past week, coaches were able to offer 2022 guys. So there was a ton of offers that went out. But first, Florida State made the top 5 for 5-star guard Matthew Cleveland. The rest of his list included NC State, Kansas, Stanford, and Michigan. A pretty random and all over the place top 5. He's out of Georgia. This is one of the worst kept secrets in basketball recruiting, that he's going to be a Seminole. At this point, it's pretty set in stone. As soon as he released his top 5, rivals put in 3 future casts to Florida State for him. This one's pretty surefire that he's going to go to Florida State. Maybe bring a couple guys with him. He's pretty close with current commit Bryce McGowan's. Point guard J.D. Davison out of Alabama cut his list at 10. Florida State is on that list, including Alabama, Florida, Arkansas, Memphis, Auburn, Georgia, Kansas, Louisville, and LSU. A lot of big-name schools there. Alabama is probably the school to beat there. He does like Florida State a lot. I would say we're probably going to make his top 5 whenever he cuts that down. Then the other big list that we made was for Alex Chiku. He's a big from Arizona. He just recently reclassified from 2021 to 2020. And his list includes Oregon, Alabama, St. Mary's, Mississippi State, St. John's, Illinois, USC, Arizona, and Florida State. Releasing a top 9 is weird, but he said his decision's coming soon, which makes sense since he just reclassified. I honestly don't know where he's going to end up. I think a lot of people are going to be worried because his nickname is Frenchie, because he is from France, and his last name starts with cheese. So another Frenchie, watch out if he does come. Hopefully it doesn't turn out like the last Frenchie we had. But I do think we stand really well with him as it stands right now. Arizona's obviously a school to watch out, and Illinois is another one. But I do really like where we stand. Musa Chise keeps pushing his commitment back. He just pushed it back again. Someone came out today saying he'd be shocked if he committed this week. And the more that keeps getting delayed, the more Florida State's go, we don't really need this guy. We can go after, your Nate from Oklahoma State, it's been pretty quiet on that front, or we can go after Alex Chiku, who they've been after for a while. But like I said, with them being able to offer a whole bunch of kids recently, I think I've got like 9 names here. The only 2021 guy they offered was Jordan Riley from New York, a very athletic guy. I was talking to someone close to the situation. They said they're really pushing for him to go to Florida State because they think he can be a professional player if he gets the right development. And they think Florida State has some of the best development in college basketball. Then a whole bunch of 2022 guys. Derek Lively, he's a center from Pennsylvania. Ty Rogers, a wing from Michigan. PJ Haggerty, a wing from Texas. Jarris Walker and Brandon Huntley Hatfield from IMG Academy. Those 2 are big ones to watch out for because they're going to be teammates with Jaden Bradley, point guard who just transferred there from Cannon School in Concord, who's, I think at this point, a Florida State lean. I know 24/7 has him as a North Carolina lean, but I think he's a Florida State guy. So him being able to be around Jarris Walker and Huntley Hatfield, get in their ears a little bit saying, hey, we could continue this at Florida State. And then 2 more, wing from South Carolina, Julian Phillips, and Malik Renau, a wing from Hialeah, Florida. A lot of names there. It's obviously way too early in a lot of these recruitments. The biggest 2022 news was Imani Bates committed to Michigan State, and he's arguably the best high school prospect in high school basketball, not barring any year. There's a lot of people that think if he was to go straight to the NBA this year, like he was eligible for the draft right now, he'd be the number one pick, which is telling of his talent. I'd still be shocked if he goes to Michigan State, but that's the biggest 2022 news right now.
Well, so we jump into the Koby Gross interview. He talked about his recruitment. Also, Mike Norvell, what he's most excited about for coming into Tallahassee. He's going to be moving from California to Florida, so a big move for him. He also talks a little bit about Luke Altmaier and what he's going to do to, kind of recruit also on his side of things to bring some more Noles over to Tallahassee. So let's go and jump into that right now. All right, so this is a big time first for us here at Hear the Spear. We have our first recruit interview. I'm really excited about it. With me tonight is Koby Gross, JUCO tight end out of Diablo. How do I say? Is it Diablo or Diablo? I'm probably
Diablo Valley College.
Okay, perfect. What he said, and he just committed to Florida State. He's the most recent FSU commit to the Noles. With me also along is Nate Greer, our lead recruiting insider, and our lead writing and editor, Dustin Lewis. But what's going on, Koby? Thanks for coming on here with us.
Glad to be here. It's been a crazy day, crazy week, but it's all good.
Yeah, you're over there at 706. I'm really jealous because I want to move over to California. So it's 706 over here. 1006. Nate was saying that he has to go to bed soon. Because he has to get up at 5, and I feel bad for him, but then again, I do.
It's life. It's life.
Nate, I'll be waking up at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Just to throw it out there, just to let you know.
Hey, that's good, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man.
But Koby,
don't let that change, man. Don't ever work for the man.
No, it's gonna change when classes start. It's gonna change.
Don't ever work for the man.
But yeah, Koby, let's jump into your commitment to Florida State. You didn't go through the original and the typical route for football player going through D1 football. You elected to go to JUCO out of high school. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that journey and why you picked to go that way.
Out of high school, I wasn't a qualifier to go straight to a Division I school. That had to do with my core classes coming out of high school. I didn't have all of them filled out. I was missing, I think, 4 out of 16, so I only had 12. And then a lot of that turned a lot of coaches off because they can't really do too much out of when that happens. And then I just took the junior college route. I went to DVC first, and then I left for a little bit, and then I eventually came back because that's what I realized I wanted to play at, and the school was a lot it was a lot closer. And my grandmother works there as well over at the school, so it just benefited me a lot, and I had a real good relationship with the head coach and the offensive coordinator at DVC, so it just felt perfect to go there and just get everything that I needed to get done so I could transfer when I need to.
Yeah, we talked about, when I'm going to follow up on that question, Logan, about how it is the hardest road to go for a recruit, and how, you're kind of on your own. You are your own support staff. So, talk about your decision to not play and focus on the academic side.
The main, so I was originally supposed to do 2 years. Well, I still technically am doing 2 years. And the main reason why I wanted to sit out this year was to really work, get ahead on my academics, and then just work on a lot of football stuff on, also while getting ahead on the academics, just getting stronger faster and all that stuff. But I think it was a really good decision that I didn't play this year, and I have more eligibility, and I feel a lot better playing. I feel faster and stronger. I just think it was a really good choice for me. I mean, it was hard to sit out and just watch everyone play, but now it worked out for me. It really did.
Very good.
I'll go ahead, Dustin.
I was saying, Koby, you got the chance to meet with Mike Norvell before you committed. Just jumping over to that real quick. What was Mike Norvell like in your talks with him, and what made you comfortable with picking Florida State?
He was real excited about me. He was really fired up and just hearing my journey of everything that happened. He was really interested, and he was just real fired up. And we have a good relationship now. And then our relationship kind of built pretty fast too. It wasn't slow. I just liked the way his energy and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a perfect fit with everything.
What is the coaching staff like too? Because you obviously got this, it's all virtually happening right now. But I was getting to know some of the coaching staff, and what were they telling you? Yeah.
Well, talking to Coach Thompson, I've been talking to him. He's the one that I've been talking to the longest, and just the relationship me and him have. It's just they're all really excited because of my versatility on the field and just my work ethic and everything. Because it's not easy coming from JUCO. It really isn't. So they're just they're all proud of me for to just taking advantage of everything that was in my control. And they were really telling me when I get there to Florida State how they were gonna use me and how my versatility is such a big factor in the game, and they don't see me coming off the field really in situations. So that really got me excited. And it just made me think I got to work even harder now because that's what I want to do.
And talking about moving to Wise, you're going to move from Cali all the way to Tallahassee here in Florida. Is that any kind of intimidating to you? Any?
I feel like it's going to be weird for the first couple months, but I've always wanted to play football in Florida. That's where I want to be at. And I have family over there, so it's not too far from them. My grandparents, they live in Tampa, so that's not too far. And it's gonna be a big change, but I'm ready for it. Gotta get ready for it sometime. So now is the perfect time.
One of our first conversations, you mentioned Miami.
Uh-huh.
Going down and playing in Miami.
Yeah.
So you got to go ahead and get rid of that thought process.
Yeah, that's done with.
All right.
I don't like them anymore.
So that's good.
Yes, the fans will like hearing that. You're already welcomed and big arms.
Yeah.
Wide open arms.
Koby, before you made your decision, did you get a chance to talk with any of the current commitments or any of the current players on the team, and now even after you made your decision?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I talked to Luke a lot. I talked to Joshua. They were really they were texting. I think right after I got the offer, both of them were texting me a lot. They were like, "Are you gonna wait? Or are you gonna make the move?" And I told them right when the day after I got offered, I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna come play with you guys." And they were really excited about it, and yeah, they were just really excited. And we're all in the group chat, and I like them all. They're all great players too. So I feel like we're gonna have something special coming soon.
You got a future teammate too currently at this time right now while we're recording, competing in the Elite 11 right now with Luke Altmaier too. So you got any thoughts on him?
He's gonna be something special. I already know from watching him from his film, and now he's at the Elite 11 because you guys know not everybody gets invited to the Elite 11. That's big. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to play with them. I'm excited to catch some passes from him. So it's just really exciting. He's a great player.
So, one question I have is that when you look at your high school tape, it's a lot of blocking, a lot of, aggression, a lot of putting guys in the ground. And, now, what you sent to the coaches and what's on huddle is you out running routes. So talk about the evolution of your game and how you got to that point.
Well, the big reason why I wanted to take this year off was to work on my routes so I could be as versatile as possible. Like the trainer that I trained with, he was like, that's what I want to make you, like more of a route runner, tight end, but can block also. So that really got me excited too, to start working on a lot of routes. I've always been like running routes, but I started to take it a lot more seriously, like just really like focused on like this route needs to be perfect, this release needs to be perfect, all of that. So I've been really working on that so I could like just be lined up on the outside against a corner, or be lined up in the slot against a linebacker or a safety, or even put my hand in the ground if I got to block a DN, block them. So I just been working on a lot, like probably, since last January, like as soon as when the new year happened, or as soon as like 2019. As soon as when 2019 started, that's when I really started working. So it's been a long time, and I'm excited to see the results.
And my follow-up question to that is that, for the people who make comments about how, you don't have a lot of film out there, and you're kind of an unproven commodity.
Yeah.
And here comes FSU, scooping you up already. So talk a little bit about that. I know it's a motivating factor for you to kind of prove these guys wrong.
Coach Thompson and Coach Norvell, they see so much potential in me, and they have a lot of faith in me. Of what they've seen and videos that I've sent Coach Thompson of me running routes. It looks a lot different than my route running on the film from my high school. And I mean, it's just a lot of hard work put in, and it's gonna show soon. It's gonna show soon that a big improvement.
Very good.
Yeah, obviously the coronavirus has changed a lot with the recruiting process right now. What was it like getting a chance to virtually visit Florida State? Can you take us a little bit through what you got to experience on that?
The virtual visit was amazing. I like the facilities, the school, and I really liked the school. I did some research also on what the school looked like by myself, because that's important also. And I could really see myself being there and living there and playing there, and I just thought it was real good, really nice. I had to watch the video a few times actually, because it was so good. But I definitely I could see myself playing and being there every day.
And to kind of get to the end of the interview here, you got an offer from Florida State in June, but how long has the staff been recruiting you, been in contact with you? And obviously to get to this point now, but how long have they been trying to get your attention and talk with you, get to know you, analyze some of your film, and also get to know some of your game?
I think Coach Thompson first reached out to me again, and I think right when this whole corona started to get really serious. So that was like a few months ago, and then we started talking a lot, and then coaches started the staff started following me on Twitter, and it just went up from there really. And then I think soon leading up to the offer, I was probably talking to Coach Thompson like 3 times a week. He had a lot of questions about school and when I'll be able to be out, and because I'm already early. I was supposed to be originally graduated from DVC in December 2021, so I'm early in May. So he was just asking that, making sure I have everything ready, and he said the athleticism and the film's already there. It's just this is the one that's the most important right now.
Do you have a player that when you think about Florida State, one comes up in your head? You know, some people will say Deion Sanders, Jalen Ramsey, a lot of the younger guys think Derwin James, but anybody come to your mind whenever
Jameis Winston.
That's a good one. That's a very good pick. I like that one. Is there? Go ahead, Nate.
I was gonna follow up with the virtual tour question about about a comment that you made to me about how you fit Norvell's offense. How much time did they spend with you, kind of really showing you how they want to use you?
Well, I was in a Zoom call with Coach Dillingham for like 45 minutes. I talked to Coach Thompson about it a lot, and Coach Norvell. They really want to use me like everywhere. That's what Coach Dillingham was saying. Like attached to the line, on the numbers or in the slot, and even in the backfield. So just to be as versatile as possible, and that's why they recruited me, and they pulled the trigger on the offer.
Nice.
And I have one more on my end. There's obviously a lot of things you can be excited about, coming into Florida State, coming here, Tallahassee and everything. But what excites you the most out of everything? Is it being in Doak Campbell Stadium with the war chant going, like being able to be around that? Like, is there something that just like, is it being under Mike Norvell and just you really like him? And what is like kind of is your biggest one thing that you're really looking forward to being involved with when you're in Tallahassee with FSU?
I think that's a lot. It's hard to only choose.
You can give the war chant one. We'll let that one always be there. But if there's anything else you want to add, we know the war chant is probably one of the biggest things recruits want to come to be around.
I think just the coaching staff and all the players and just the potential we have in the future that really excites me. But I think playing under Coach Norvell really is the probably the biggest one, and being personally coached by Coach Thompson, because he's been coaching since I'm pretty sure before I was born, so he knows what he's talking about. So that's just the offensive coaches, and just being around some great players. That's just only going to make me better as well.
I think those are some very solid picks for sure, most certainly. But yeah, I'm really glad that you're able to come on here and join us. We look forward to continuing to cover you through your career at FSU, and if you ever need anything, we are always here too. I'm sure Nate has told you that too.
Thank you.
But we wish you the best of luck. Safe travels too when you do make that trek all the way from Cali to Tally. And yeah, man, be safe, and thank you again for joining us on here.
Thank you.
All right, so we are back now. Definitely thanks to Koby for coming over with us. That's our first recruitment interview. If you guys like those, I think we're going to continue to try to do those for a little bit during the off season, at least, maybe into the season if we have some time. I think it's a cool perspective to get these guys' perspective on the university too, before even getting here, and also we get the inside look at how Mike Norvell is recruiting and what he's like behind the scenes. So cool stuff from Koby. You guys ready for some FSU trivia? I always forget who's leading what and where and how.
I believe I tied it up 7-7.
Yeah, I think you did tie it up. I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tied 7-7.
Yeah, it is. I have it written down over here somewhere. Where'd it go? All right, well, I lost it. That's awesome.
What'd you write down? 7-7?
Somewhere. But it's gone now, so I guess it doesn't matter, though.
I doubt you even wrote anything down to begin with.
Yeah, you don't seem like much of a writer.
No?
No.
Oh, wow, that's rude. Would you call me an editor?
Yeah, poster.
A poster. I like that. I'll take that title. That's my talent, is just posting. All right, so let's jump into this. We're going to stay on the jersey numbers because I thought that was pretty good last week. I had a pretty tough time. It was really embarrassing too.
Yeah, because you're throwing as Grant Glennon and walk-on linebackers.
Got to start learning.
And the guys that were off the team.
You got to start analyzing your team, boys. You got to start getting to know your players, and the jersey number is probably a good one to know whenever you're going to games.
Ask me Will Miles' number. I'll know that.
Well, there you go, basketball nerd. Let's see. Number 1 here. What number did Fred Biletnikoff wear?
Oh, that's easy. I have his jersey hanging on my wall.
There you go.
I have a signed jersey of his hanging on my wall. This is 1 for 1. Come on, Dustin.
It was 20. It was 25, right?
Yeah, 25.
25. I
scooped up an autographed jersey on eBay for like $45.
Okay.
Dude, that's a steal.
There you go. You can go to Austin if you ever need any eBay advice.
Yeah.
Austin's your guy. Number 2 here. What number did Bob Sura wear at FSU?
Dude, Austin probably knows.
This is another really easy one.
So go first.
No.
Wow.
Come on, Dustin.
I'll go with 3.
Oh, come on. 3.
Is that right?
Yes. Because we talked about it with Trent.
Yep.
Oh,
Wait.
that's aggravating.
That sucks. I feel bad for you, Austin.
He's everywhere.
Put your hands up. Was that a guess, Dustin?
Yes, that was a guess.
Okay. What number did Ron Simmons wear? Nose guard, Florida State. 5 seconds.
50?
3, 2.
55.
What? No, he was not Marvin Jones. It was Ron Simmons, and he wore number 50, not number 55.
Let's go.
Austin takes an 8-7 lead in FSU trivia. Wow. Dustin has lost his lead.
He guessed all 3 and got the 3 questions.
I mean, you're
That's
right.
aggravating.
That sucks.
Hey, but I made it to 3.
Yeah, I'm impressed somewhat.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. I don't think. It's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is.
Well, there's always next week, guys.
There is always next week. You're correct. And Dustin, if you want to, do you want to kind of give a hint or maybe, I don't know, do we have a guest coming on next week that I think FSU fans should be pretty excited about?
Maybe, but I mean, who knows? After what Nate said earlier, I got no idea. We'll find out.
I think it'll be all right.
Well, yeah, we could have a former FSU defensive lineman coming on, former first-round NFL draft pick. So we'll just have to see.
Yep, we will have to see. We'd be rolling then. I think that'd be like 4 straight weeks of hot guests.
4 out of 5.
If we get this one on here, I might just have to break out a cigar. Victory cigar, baby.
You do that. I'm going to look for a really bad dad joke to end off the podcast so we can get everybody to go ahead and cut off the podcast.
I've got 4. I don't want to use all 4 of them.
Oh, God.
I want to save some for next week, obviously, in case I can't find any.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll start this one off. What do you call a belt made of $100 bills?
I don't know.
A waste of time.
A waste of time.
Oh my god.
Or a waste of money. Sorry, I messed up.
I was like,
a waste of money. A waste of time and money. Honestly, a waste of money.
Oh, Austin blew it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I blew it
all week.
I blew it.
We've got 4 ready to go here. Reads the first one wrong.
It was really my third one because I was skipping around. But yeah, I'm tired. I actually had to work today.
Yeah. Oh dang! Is that a shot at me and Dustin?
Mainly Dustin, because he got up at 3 p.m.
I didn't get up at 3 p.m. I got up at 1 p.m.
I thought you said 3 p.m.
I didn't say any p.m. I just said a few hours ago.
Okay.
Fair enough. You or me, Logan?
You go ahead. You got it.
All right. What do you call a naughty lamb dressed up like a skeleton for Halloween?
What?
Bad to the bone. Oh my gosh. I think the first part of it is the funniest. Oh my.
Naughty lamb.
Naughty lamb dressed as a skeleton.
What's a 6.9?
Nice.
Another great thing screwed up by a period.
Oh.
I guess that'll lead me into my next one. My massage therapist got fired. I guess she rubbed people the wrong way.
Yikes. You hate to hear that. That's tough.
Hate to hear it.
Rubbed the wrong way. She should keep her job and get a better tip. That's Dustin Hall, right? What do you call a useless piece of skin on a penis?
Dude, what do you go to find your damn joke,
don't,
bro?
Don't even do this.
A man.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, it was just on this side. I had to do it. Oh, no. Oh, I can't do this one. This was will be canceled.
All right, Dustin, go ahead.
Which state has the most streets?
Florida.
Rhode Island.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Oh, brutal.
I'm staying away from Logan's genre.
Having sex in an elevator is wrong on so many levels.
I don't even know if that's a dad joke.
Yeah, don't tell that to Aerosmith.
Oh, no.
My horse has insomnia and keeps everyone awake. She's a nightmare.
Oh, come on now. Come on. She's got to be something better. Oh, no. Lordy day.
All right, Dustin. Wrap it up here. Give us a good one.
I feel like we already did this before.
Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely did this one before. Man, that would have been a good one.
I've got one that I can end it, but...
All right, end this bitch then.
What kind of bees make milk?
Days?
Boobies.
Oh, I tried.
Wow.
Oh, man, it just gets cringier week after week, doesn't it?
Yep. It started off badly with me messing up a punchline. It didn't get better.
Yeah, this has been rough. That was tough there, and thankfully we had Patrick on and Koby to save this podcast. Not our best kind of week there, but you know what? That's how we come back. We bounce back. Like Dustin said, hopeful to have a big time guest on next week. Really excited about that. Thanks to Patrick. Thanks to Koby. Thanks to the guys here also, Austin and Dustin. And if you're listening on iTunes, feel free to rate us 5 stars and leave a review. It really helps a lot. Make sure you subscribe too, so you'll be notified every time we go live. This podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, also YouTube for you YouTube freaks. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Really appreciate you guys listening. As always, we've seen a good amount of listeners the last couple of weeks, so welcome if you're new. And if you're not new, then I give you a golden star because you're still stuck around with us and really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have some sports coming up soon in the future to talk about. But everybody stay safe, wear a mask, and we'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.